Hello everybody, Nana Des. How's everybody on this Tuesday? I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing fabulous. I had my very best friend of 45 years come and spend a few days with me. It was wonderful. We always have a good time. We get lots of laughing. Lots of laughing. Laughing's good for the soul, right? Now it's back to work. Today we're going to talk about Lion Lips Boebert, because she's a transphobic biatch. They were talking last week about the 2024 defense spending, because even though it was all agreed on in April of this year, McCarthy and everybody over there went back on the word, so now they're trying to get together another bill. So anyway, old handjob harlot there, Lion Lips Boebert, just put an amendment forward for the House to reduce the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Readiness, Sean Skelly's salary, to $1. Yeah, all this psychobabble coming from the 3 times failed GED queen herself that got a pity pass on the last try, only because she told him that she was running for office. Now, here's a little bit about Sean Skelly. Sean Skelly served for 20 years in the United States Navy as a naval flight officer in diverse array of combat and management positions. She served with the Southeast and Oceania Policy to global terrorism ops, to the Marine Corps' warfighting lab in Quantico, Virginia. Can you spell that there, Lauren? Can you spell Quantico? She flew S-3Bs, Viking anti-submarine fighter jets, trained naval aviators, and served in leadership roles both at sea and on land. From 2003 to 2006, she was the U.S. Pacific Command's Deputy Chief of Staff for South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Oceania Policy. She retired in 2008 as a commander, and she directed the department-wide anti-IED program for the Marine Corps. For all you civilians out there, improvised explosive devices, IEDs. Yeah. Now, she was appointed by Obama, congressionally mandated National Commission on Military, National, and Public Service on an 11-board bipartisan commission. Now, what was old Bobby doing 20 years ago? Shall we go and see? Let's dive in. She knows how to dive in. Now, she was brought up, she said, in a Democrat home and lived on welfare. In 2001, when Bobo was 14, her mother was a registered Republican and did not change that affiliation to Democrat until 2015, at which point she was, Bobo, was breeding on her own by then and married to a sexual deviant that flopped his weenus on the table to underage girls, which Lauren delighted in. And Boebert was also a Democrat in 2006, registered. So McDonald's, here's what she said, McDonald's afforded me the opportunity to have a good paying job. $7.25 an hour isn't a good paying job. I developed job skills and a work ethic. Missing votes because you're in the back seat, not a work ethic. And a passion to put my hand to something creative, something to create wealth. Giving hand jobs in the theater doesn't do too much for you. Oh, you got $178,000 from Ted Cruz, just saying. What work ethic when you missed the debt ceiling bill? That's reneging on your duty. That's what that is. When you were doing, like, I don't know, who knows who. You put your hand to Quinn's crotch for a couple of months. The Coke party, Ted Cruz, $178,000. Yeah. Hand to wealth. Got it. 2006, at 19 years old, you registered as a Democrat. Did not get your third attempt, but a pity pass at a GED a month before your first primary. In 2010, you were evicted from your house and they foreclosed on it. Rural Colorado United Organization says nothing about her story is true. She is not who she says she is. She had multiple failed businesses, does not pay her taxes, has had multiple arrests, and will do and say anything to get in the spotlight. Boy, wasn't easy to see that coming, was it? She has told so many lies on the campaign trail, used campaign funds to pay her rent, her back taxes, and lied about her mileage to get a bigger compensation from the taxpayer. We cannot afford this circus in Congress. And by stealing campaign money means she didn't pay her bills, the taxpayers, and that MAGA base out there that follows her around like little lost puppies, they're the ones that paid that. And Capital One Bank actually filed a case against her in 2012 for $1,516 that wasn't settled until 2017, and only because she was going to run for office. Otherwise, she would have stiffed them. It's good for the Republicans. They're always stiffing people, right? Mind you, she's building stiffies. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, poison pork sliders, remember that at the rodeo? Made 80 people almost shit themselves to death. She cited for numerous reports of improper food safety practices, unlicensed food providers, and failure to follow simple hand washing regulations. Pork can poison and kill you, right? Hand washing regulations by staff, and not getting proper county and state licenses to maintain them, because she didn't have a proper license when she went to the rodeo with unlicensed food providers. And she poisoned a bunch of them. Some of her victims were as young as 7 years old. There was like 10 kids out of there. 10 or 15 kids. That's right. And they all had serious food poisoning with vomiting and bloody diarrhea. Thanks, Lauren. Yeah. So you, Miss Lauren, going on about everybody else and Hunter Biden and the right, you should be charged with committing lewd sex acts in the presence of children, because there were children all over that theater. And be fined by the bylaw office for vaping indoors, even though you had 2 warnings to stop. Because don't you know who I am? Doesn't cut it. She took flash pictures, which really, I've been on stage several times. I did 10 years of theater before I became this. But yeah, flash photography throws them off on stage. But she didn't give a shit. She only wanted her selfies. That's what she wanted, him with his hands down her shirt. No pictures with and flash inside the theater. That's another bylaw. And giving aid and comfort to the January 6th guilty insurrectionists. Still going on about that, how, oh, those poor people, they're treating them so unfairly. That's aid and comfort to insurrectionists. That's guilty. That's a guilty, that's pretty close to treason, I'm thinking. You are a disgraceful serial lawbreaker, liar, a misogynist, and a homophobe. You are. You're an all-round puddle of vomit and regret. Cheers, Lauren. You're not worth the paper you signed your oath on. Naughty Nana loves you. Mwah! Be good, be safe, be good to you first. Love ya. Ooh, where's my little thing? Not that one.